Okay, I couldn't find you a geometry-focused factor by grouping word problem that I liked, so I'm just going to make one up to give you. So it's not going to be the easiest, but you can handle it. I'm going to explain the problem and set it up so you can solve it. And then I'm going to have you stop the video, try and solve it, and then you can watch the rest of the video in which I will solve it. So here's our problem. So a triangle has a base that is 3 times a number and a height that is 2 times the number plus 3. Its area equals 7 times the number plus 2. What is the number? Okay, so first we're going to draw the diagram, and I'm going to have you try and solve it. So a triangle has a base that is 3 times a number and a height that is 2 times the number plus 3. And its area equals 7 times the number plus 2. What is the number? Okay, so you're going to need, this is not a right triangle, so you're going to need to use the area formula. 1/2, well, it wouldn't matter, you could use this for a right triangle, but you're not using Pythagorean theorem. You're going to use 1/2 base times height equals area. Okay, so at this point, I would stop the video to see if you can do this on your own. If you get stuck or you aren't sure what to do, like when to multiply by 2 because of this 1/2, then just play the video. And after this, I'm going to solve it real quick. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to solve it. So 1/2 base times height equals area. So our area is 7x plus 2. And 1/2 times 3x, that's a 3x, times 2x plus 3 equals 7x plus 2. Okay, so the first thing you should do, God, those 3's are bad, is let's multiply 3x times 2x plus 3. Okay, so 3x times 2x is 6x squared. And then 3x times 3 is 9x, okay? So we have 1/2 of 6x squared plus 9x equals 7x plus 2. Now, I could distribute the 1/2 out. It'd be easy enough to multiply 6x squared by 1/2, but multiplying 9x by 1/2 is going to give me 4.5x. And I like dealing with whole number coefficients when I'm factoring trinomials. That's not just a me thing. That's how you're going to see them. You are going to mostly work with integers with these. So when instead of multiplying the 1/2, I'm going to multiply both sides times 2. So on my left, I'm now going to have 6x squared plus 9x, because multiplying by 2 canceled out by multiplying by 1/2. And on my right, I'm now going to have 14x plus 4. So I'm going to prep my next slide. I have 6x squared plus 9x equals 14x plus 4. Okay, so now whenever you see these, remember your goal is to make one side 0. So I'm going to subtract 14x and 4. I'm picking the right side because typically you want to shoot for an A that is positive. You don't have to, but that's just sort of the conventional way to do it. So that's going to leave me with 6x squared minus 5x. That's my 9x minus my 14x. Minus 4 equals 0. So now the whole first part was just trying to get us to set up our factoring. And that's how a lot of these geometry algebra crossovers will work, is they're just going to give you a setup that once you multiply everything out, you can now do factoring by grouping or something like that. So we're going to factor by grouping. We have 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. So we're going to set up our little x here that we put, that's it, there we go. So the top is A times C, remember? So the top is, what's going on? A times C, which is going to be negative 24. Just ignore that it doesn't fit there. That's a negative 24. And the bottom is going to be negative 5. So I'm looking for factors of 24. Okay, now we're going to end up with a positive and a negative, and their difference is going to be negative 5, or they're going to add to negative 5, but a positive and a negative. I'm just going to write out the factors of 24. So we have 24 and 1, 12, what is going on with my stylus? 12 and 2, 24 and 1, 6 and 4, 8 and 3. Okay, so since they multiply to equal a negative, one of them will be positive and one of them will be negative. So that means I'm looking for a difference of 5. 8 and 3 of the difference of 5. So they need to add to negative 5, negative 8, positive 3. It's going to equal negative 5. So I'm now going to write this as 6x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 4. Let's clear this out. 6x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Now, notice, first thing I'm going to see here is that this 6 and 8 don't have a whole number integer that is a factor of them. No whole number goes into both 6 and 8, or 2 does. Never mind, but don't worry about that, because the 3 and 4, more importantly, don't have a whole number factor that they share. So what I'm getting at is we want to switch these, because 3 and 6 work well together and 8 and 4 work well together. So I'm now going to get 6x squared plus 3x minus 8x minus 4. Now I do my factoring. What is the greatest common factor of 6x squared and 3x? For the coefficient, it's 3. And for the variable, it's x. So 3x times, 3x times what will equal 6x squared times 2x. And 3x times what will equal 3x? 1. Okay. Now, on my other side, I have negative 8x minus 4. So I'm going to look for my greatest common factor. So there isn't 2 variables. There's only an x in the first one. So I'm not going to have a variable in my greatest common factor. So what goes into my coefficients? The largest number is negative 4. And it could be positive 4, but I'm trying to make to get a plus 1. So I know I'm going to need a negative 4. So negative 4 times what will equal negative 8x times 2x. Negative 4 times what will equal negative 4? Positive 1. Sure enough, I get 3x times 2x plus 1 minus 4 times 2x plus 1. I'll rewrite this whole thing as soon as this erases. Three x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 equals 0. Perfect. So x can equal a couple of things. 3x minus 4 equals 0. That tells me that's why I would add 4 and then divide by 3. So x would equal 4/3. 2x plus 1 equals 0. So I would subtract 1 and divide by 2. So x would equal negative 1/2. So x equals 4/3 or negative 1/2. It's probably going to be 4/3. Yes, because this bottom here would not equal 3 times negative 1/2. So we can also then plug in and see what we get here. So let me prepare my last slide. So now we have 3 times 4/3 for my base. My height is going to be 2 times 4/3 plus 3. And my area is going to be 7 times 4/3 plus 2. Let's see if they all work out. This is just checking our work. So 3 times 4/3 is 12/3, which is 4. So my base is 4. 2 times 4/3 is 8/3 plus 3 would be 17/3. 8/3 plus 9/3. So my height is 17/3. Now 7 times 4/3 is 28/3 plus 2, or 6/3 will equal 34/3. So if I did all this correctly, 1/2 times 4 times 17/3 should equal 34/3. We can check that real quick. 1/2 times 4 times 17/3 should equal 34/3. Okay, 1/2 times 4 is 2. Just 2 times 17/3 equal 34/3. It does. All right, there you go.